I'm Richard Knight, and I'm a World War II veteran and a Korean veteran. My brother was 2 years older than me, and he went in '45. I was always following his model, so when I graduated from high school in '46, I followed through and went in the Marine Corps with him. The first thing we did, of course, was good old Parris Island. I didn't find it so bad because I grew up on a farm in Gorham and was used to outside activities and work and so on and so forth. And a lot of these young people coming in from the city had problems with all of their activities. So I didn't mind getting up early in the morning and having calisthenics and running, and especially I loved the obstacle course because that was just good exercise for me, so I enjoyed that. So then after Parris Island, I was assigned to Camp Lejeune, and so I spent the rest of my 2-year period there. We did leave there several times, and like going to Little Creek, Virginia for amphibious training, and then also we went to Calibre Island in the Caribbean to do practicing landings and so forth. And another couple of interesting things that happened were I took typing in high school, and so when they spotted that in my resume, they said, well, you're going to be a typist because we don't have many typists that are men. And so I became a typist for the in the battalion office. And it was interesting because I was signing up sheets and so forth for guard duty and for the mess duty, and I didn't have to go. I just had to sign up the names of all my buddies. And another thing that happened was that we took a trip from Morehead City and went to Miami, Florida, believe it or not, because the Marine Corps League, and I'm not 100% sure if the Marine Corps League is still around or not. I haven't looked that up. We had a demonstration landing on Miami Beach, believe it or not. And then also in the Orange Bowl, they had built a replica of Iwo Jima, and the Marines all came in and, of course, charged up the hill. And I sat in the front row watching everything because I had typed up all the orders for those folks to do that thing, so that I was able to watch it and not have to participate in it. But those were about the major experiences I had in my first 2 years in the Marine Corps. And when I left, the sergeant there said, well, would you like to stay in the reserves? And I said, well, why? And he said, well, we aren't going to have any more wars. You might as well, in case you want to come back in and get your longevity pay and things of that nature. And so I said, okay. So I did. And then, of course, the good old GI Bill, which many of us who are poor and our parents could never have afforded that type of education for us. It was a great blessing for many, many, many of us to go. And I went to the University of Maine. Having been in the military and coming out of the military the first time and going to Orono, so many people were coming out of the services at that time that they didn't send me directly to Orono. Sent several of us, many of us at that time when we were freshmen, sending us to Brunswick Air Station, where they had barracks there that, like the old barracks that we used to live in the Marine Corps and so forth. We had to spend a whole year there, and I always liked physics, so I took engineering physics, and that was a real good background for me. The program that the University of Maine had, Eastman Kodak Company liked it very much. And it was a perfect fit for me because I was always anxious about photography, taking photographic pictures all through my career, military and otherwise, so that Eastman Kodak Company was just the right fit for me. And they essentially hired me and said, "There's a job waiting for you when you come out." And it was good that I was allowed to stay on when 1950 came, and I was, of course, going to be reactivated because of the Korean War. I said, "Well, can I finish my training?" And they said yes. And so I stayed until I finished my training in 1952. And the agreement was that I should serve as an officer and serve 2 more years in the Marine Corps. As a good Marine, I went to a dance at the beginning of the season. I was a little bit late, and the crowd was all around, and I looked out on the floor, and this woman was dancing with another person that I sort of took a fancy to. And I looked down and had to get through the mob of people around the dance floor, and the time I looked up, she was gone. And I looked all over the place, and there she was going out the door. And so I ran after her, and I said, "May I have this dance?" And she said, "Well, yes, but this guy that keeps butting in, and I didn't like that." And I said, "Well, okay, you come with me, and no one's going to cut in on us." As a good Marine, I kept her all to myself the rest of the night. She's from Waterville. 62 years. Yeah, it's a fantastic experience.